Hey guys, back up Pez. I'm going to be doing a new thing which is going to go through 5 days. It's going to be decks that I actually use. I'm going to be starting off with Evilswarm today, and then tomorrow will be Karakuri, the day after will be Dark Worlds, the day after that will be Final Countdown, and the last day will be Fire Kings. So, let's get through this. I have for you guys another interesting... So let's get on with this deck profile. So before I get on with the deck profile, I want to say I take pride in this deck because I've been running this deck since it was announced in the OCG, and the new build I've made at the moment, I haven't actually lost to dragons yet, and I think I kind of proved that yesterday with my friend. He was using his new dragon build, he was doing really well with it, and then I come along and just thrash him. I haven't really lost to dragons on Dueling Network either, because as much as they have their blaster, I've got answers to blast. I have so many. This deck is conservative, and I think the conservative and protective version of this deck is probably the better one. But let's get started on the deck profile. So we got the free Castor, free Karikian, and free Mandragora. If anything, I think this is kind of staple for the Evilswarm build, because Castor is the good first turn, the Karikian is the good second turn, and Mandragora is just, if you don't go first, at least you can make Ophion or a Bahamut or something like that. So then we got the two Thunderbird, because Thunderbird rocks. I don't want to run it any more than two, because two just works. People run it at 3. I'm surprised you don't dead draw this or draw it, making the hand really bulky and stuff like that. But you know, 2 works for me. Then we got the freak Heliotrope for the rabbit. Even if we didn't have rabbit, I think we'd still run this just because of the factor of it's okay. It's 1950, so yeah. But some people choose not to run rabbit. I don't know why. Rabbit is a good play. It's a first turn Ophion, and you really cannot argue with that. One Dark Arm Dragon. I finally convinced myself to run this because if Ophion dies and I have this in hand, it's just special summon and do my play, go Ophion, use the effect, pop shit, and then hopefully go for game. But then we have the 2 Veiler, and the final tech of the deck, well, one of the techs of the deck, is 2 Kage Kage. I've been running this for a while. I just needed to find the build that suited me. And through a lot of play testing, I have finally found the build which actually works for me very well. Kage Kage I've been running ever since I found out about Master Key Beetle, because it adds consistency to the Key Beetle plays, so we're not always relying on Castor or Karikian to do those plays. So this just gives us that extra edge. Also, we can exceed into stuff like Heraldi Crest, Ouroboros. If we had Shockmaster, we could exceed into Shockmaster. And also, it gave me confidence to run something like Allure of Darkness, so I wouldn't be ditching some pretty valuable shit. So that's the monster count. I think it's about 20 monsters or so. I don't really do counting of my monsters or whatnot. I suspect when people make deck profiles it just comes up, but either way. Free Pandemic. I wouldn't run this any less than 3 unless it got hit. I do suspect it could get hit by the ban list, but I don't think it will, not for a while, until like if dragons die, then maybe this will get hit, but I don't know. Then we have 2 Forbidden Dress. This is why I don't really lose to dragons, because I'm just always prepared for the blaster, and if they can beat over Ophion, I'm always prepared for that. So I'm not really too bothered about them opening blaster, even though when I was going up against our dragon player, I never played this, but I still beat him, just with Bahamut. But Dress puts a lot of work into the deck. And then the staples, we've got the Dark Hole, Book of Moon. The reason I consider Book of Moon a staple is because it's like a Veiler, and it can also stop your opponent's plays pretty well. Like, they do all this summoning and they're going to go Synchro. It's like, nah, I'll just Book of Moon your Tuna, so you can't really do anything. So yeah. Then we have Mystical Space Typhoon at 2, Allure of Darkness, and Rota. These just add consistency to the deck purely because of the fact of this deck, it has no real staple draw engine or anything like that, so this just gives us a little extra search, and this just gives us some draw engine. Then for the traps, if I just move those away, for the traps we've got the one-offs, which are Solemn Warning, Chancellor Tribute, Bottomless Trap Hole, Compulsory Evacuation Device, and Infestation Infection. I would never run this more than 1 because it's so cloggy in the hand, it really just doesn't help your hand out. If you're running more than one of these, it doesn't work. Running it at one is perfect. Not many people are going to MST it, because even by the time they get rid of it, you have set yourself up for game. Then we have the 2 Fiendish Chain. The reason I'm running Fiendish Chain over something like Breakthrough Skill is purely because of the factor of it stops them from attacking you, and that's what you really want. You don't want them to attack you if you haven't really got anything, so it's multi-purpose, so it just helps out because I'm not running anything to protect me if I do get attacked, because most of the time I don't get attacked. And then we got the 2 Safe Zone. The Master Key Beetle Lock is amazing, so Beetle Lock, oh yeah. And that's it for the main deck. It's a 40 card deck. I'd never go over 40 cards because I'm not stupid. But let's go into the extra deck. We've got the free Ophion, obviously. If someone runs this at 1, I'm really too concerned their knowledge of the deck. 2 Master Key Beetle. I like running this at 2 because it's multi-purpose as well. You can protect your Ophion, or you can go for Safe Zone Lockdown. So I think running it at 2 is a lot better in the purest fact of if someone gets rid of one of them, you do want the other one for the next play. 1 Bahamut. This is what got me my games against my Dragon player yesterday, and it was amazing in the pure factor of he opened Blaster twice in my Ophion, and I told you before I didn't open Forbidden Dress, so Ophion died, but I was playing smart. I wasn't setting all my stuff, I wasn't playing all my stuff, so I still had hand advantage over him, and all I needed was a Karikian just to get the play off. Drew into Karikian, went into this guy, took his Colossal Fighter, which is what he summoned, and I already had a Caster Engrave. I think I actually had 2 Engrave, so I had a lot more advantage, and he just couldn't beat over it, and it happened the exact same game. Now, these are the 4 kind of level rank 4 exceeds. You got your Maestroke, your Gagaga Cowboy, your Abyss Dweller, and your Photon Popular Operative. Popular Operative just puts work into it. Abyss Dweller for Mermails, because Mermails can touch this deck. Gagaga Cowboy, game finishing. Maestroke, just cause Maestroke. Then we got Gemini Pearl, Heroic Champion Excalibur, Ouroboros, Heraldic Crest, and finally, the final card in the extra deck is not an Exceed, it is a Synchro, which is Armades, Keeper of Boundaries. The reason I wanted to run this is because of Blackwing matchups. When you summon this, Blackwings can't really do much. They either bottomless it or they solemn it. If they do that, that's fair enough, but after that, they literally cannot get rid of this. If you have an Evilswarm Ophion out, they are never going to get over this, even if they go Gale. If they summon Gale, you just chain Dress to the summon, so they can't target this. They can target Ophion all they want. I don't really care if they target my Ophion. If they don't target this, they can't do much. But anyway, that's the deck profile. As I said to you before, I do take pride in the factor of I haven't really lost to dragons with this deck profile. Some people may say, oh yeah, but I beat you with my dragon deck, but the thing is it wasn't with this one. This is a very new deck I made. I've been testing it fairly recently, and I've not really lost to dragons on Dueling Network. I've always got my dresses, I've always got my safe zones, I've always got something which is going to come back at you, because I do like to think of myself as a smart player when it comes to the dragon matchup. After all, I did used to run dragons on Dueling Network, because I feel that if you're going to really learn a deck, it's best to play the deck in order to learn it. But there's no side deck. If I was to make a side deck, which I already do have a side deck, but I'm not going to show it because there's no point. Formats change for a reason. And if I was to side stuff really for this format, it would probably just be stuff like Debunk, Mind Drain, Soul Drain, Eradicator, that card which changed the type of the monster just to fuck with prophecies. I'm trying to think what else. Maxis, Veilers, I don't need to side Veilers, but Flying Seas as well, just for rogue matchups, but either way. I'm Barker Pez, guys. Please stay tuned for the next couple of days, next 5 days even, because I am going to be doing the deck series of what I actually run. As I told you, I've got Karakuri coming up next, and the day after I will be using Dark Worlds, and then Final Countdown, and finally, to finish it all off, we'll go for Fire Kings. I know it's a very strange way just to kind of end with the weakest deck, but I did want to show you this deck because this is a deck I was going to take to YCS, so please leave a comment and subscribe, and I'll get back to you guys with another deck profile. Have fun, guys.